Hi, I'm Cheryl. I just dropped my glasses in my trash can. Hold on. There we go. Now I can see. I've got this birthday card I wanted to share today, and I'm going to show you how to make this antiqued foil, and we'll make the flower. And just there's a lot to do in this video, so let me get going. You're going to need a piece of Island Indigo cardstock, and this is 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. That's our card base. And then we have a bunch of pieces of black cardstock. Let's see, this one is 1 3/8 by 4 1/2, and this is 2 1/8 by 4 1/4. I'll put all the measurements down below. This will back our, oh, and I have one more. Oh, I know why that's there. Okay, this will be the borders on our antiqued foil pieces, and I have 2 pieces already done here. I did that because I wanted to keep moving along in the video. And these are, let's see, this is a piece that's 2 by 1. This is 2 by 5. I've got a piece here. This will be for the flower on it. That's 2 by 3. And then we have 2 pieces that are 2 1/2 by 2. And I'm going to show you how to put the foil down with this one, so I'll keep that handy. I'll need that first off. Put these aside. Then I use a bunch of different embossing folders. I have this one. It's got all swirly leaves and vines on it. I've got this one has butterflies on it. This one has like not a dandelion, Queen Anne's lace flower on it. And then this is just a geometric texture, and I'll tell you what folders these are down in the materials section. I have a pretty big jewel here. I don't know how big that is. Maybe 8 millimeter. Let's see. I think that's closer to 10 millimeters. So I have that. I got that from a big old bag full of multicolored gems that I had bought somewhere in my travels. You're going to need a bone folder if you don't have one of those. A Sharpie pen will work. And I have a tiny little dowel. I'll be using that on the flowers. Then I have the Petite Petals punch, and I also have the Pansy Punch. I have a big old bottle of black acrylic paint. I know it's black acrylic paint because it says it right on it. We're not going to use nearly this much. This is just any old crappy paint. Oh, and this is how you're going to find the foil. You'll find this in the hardware store, and it's duct tape. Now that's not like the rubbery feeling duct tape that they make now in all different artsy colors. It's actually an aluminum tape. You see how shiny that is. Okay, and you're going to need a brush. You're going to need some paper towels, and you'll probably want some baby wipes or rags or something to wipe your hands with, because this gets a little messy. And for the tape, you want to peel this off. This is the hardest part, getting a corner started. You want to peel the backing off and put it down on a piece of black cardstock. I'm using black cardstock because I used white on my sample card, and I could see little white edges when I cut it. Yes, I could, and I didn't like that. So then you just take your bone folder and you want to smooth this out. As you can see, it's kind of wrinkly, and you want to smooth that out as best you can. Sharpie will work too. Matter of fact, I think the Sharpie works better because you can cover a bigger area with it and just kind of run it right over it. Okay, so now we have our pieces of foil adhered down to our black cardstock pieces. And we're going to put that through. I've got my Big Shot off to the side here. You'll need a die cutting machine of some sort, or an embossing machine of some sort too. And we're also going to be using a scoring tool, but you know, I don't usually even mention things like that because, well, if you're making cards, then probably you have those and expect to use them. Oh, and we're using Tombow glue too. So let me get this lined up in my embossing folder here. And like I said, I've got my Big Shot off the side here. Let me get that in here. Yeah, I just have stuff piled all over the place here. And you want to put your paper in. You want the shiny side up, and you want to see the name on the top. I didn't do that on one of my pieces here. I made a boo-boo. This is debossed, not embossed. Alright, we'll run that through. And back. You don't have to run it through back and forth like this. Like I just did. I just did it that way so it ended up. Oh, and we need Tuxedo black ink too. I almost forgot about that. Okay. So now I have my geometric pattern piece. I'm trying to go fast. You know that's hard for me to do. I'm usually pretty pokey. Okay, now I'm going to pick out the flower. And I'm going to put my piece of foiled paper in there. I'm going to get that centered on that piece. And we'll put our plate on top. Run that through. Oh, I was saying you don't have to run it through and then back. I just do that just to get it back onto my side of the machine. I guess I could stand up and just pull it through. Now we have our flower. Boy, that's almost blinding, isn't it? When that catches the light. Okay. And now I'll pick out my butterfly. Let's see. Yeah, I think I used this one here. Make sure I get my paper going the right way. And we'll run that through and emboss that. Alright, we're almost ready for the messy part now. I noticed on my Big Shot machine, I just started using this, and boy, when I emboss with it, the paper really just gets embossed nice. Oop, I almost fell on my dog. Okay, she's sitting down here under my feet. I'm going to try to be neat. I'm going to put a little piece of paper towel down underneath here, and we're just going to put a big old glob of black acrylic paint. And this is just crappy paint. It's nothing special. I bought this for another project I did. If you watch my other videos, you probably know I have a new little grandson in the family. And he's just let's see, he's like two and a half months old now. And I had painted his nursery. I painted jungle animals on his nursery walls for my kids. Did a lion, a giraffe, a zebra, a big tree in the corner of the room, and a snake hanging in the branches. Boy, was that a project. It almost killed me. There's a lot of climbing ladders. I don't like to do that. So you just want to make sure you work that black paint down. You want to get it down into all the nooks and crannies. It went off on my mat. Oh well. It'll wipe up. Just get that down in there real good. Alright. Now at this point you're going to want to go and wash your brush out immediately, because you don't want that acrylic paint to dry in your brush, especially if it's a brush that you like. I've got a little jar of water off to the side here. I'm just going to just pop that in there until I'm done with the video. Let me wipe up this black here. I happen to have a baby wipe handy. Get a lot of use out of these baby wipes. Okay, now you want to keep your paper towel. There's a whole technique to this too. You want to keep your paper towel pretty flat, because we're just taking off. We want to leave the paint down in all the little nooks and crannies we filled in. Okay, so you wipe that off pretty good. I'm going to just wipe some off on these. And then I'll find a new spot on my paper towel here to use, because God forbid I waste a paper towel. So here we go. And I'm going to just do a little circular motion there, and that looks pretty good. You see I've got still lots of black down in all my little creases, but and then a light coating on the rest of it. So let me do these better. Alright, that one's done. And that one's done. So I'm just going to put those aside, because we need to have them dry. I may end up having to hit them with the heat gun a little bit to finish drying them up. Let me get rid of that and clean this mess up so I don't get that all over the rest of my card. The silicone mat's great. Everything comes off of it. No problem. It's not so easy to get my fingers clean though. Okay. So let me bring in these pieces that I've already completed and let dry. I'm going to, well, this will be in the center on the top of our card. And I'm going to take my punches and punch out my flower shapes from this one. Let me open these up. And just cut out some shapes. That always scares me a little bit when that pops out. After all this time, you'd think I'd be used to it, but it still makes me jump a little bit. Oh, There we go. So we've got our 2 flower pieces, and if you want to save this, you could save that. Maybe use it, I don't know, somewhere. That seems like something I would do. Okay, get the punches out of here. And we're just going to take these flowers, we're going to bend up the petals, but then we're going to curl them downward. Each of these little petals has like 2 lobes on it. We're going to bend down each of those lobes. And it's a good thing our Tombow glue is good and sticky, because we'll need that, because we'll be gluing the paper backing down to foil on here. And then just curl the little one up, or curl it down, I should say. Okay, and I'm going to shape that a little bit. Where did that Sharpie get to? And I'm just going to press down in the center with the Sharpie. Alright, so we can glue those together. And put a glob of Tombow right here in the middle. Ooh, that was a big glob too, boy. And we'll put the little flower in the center here. And we want the petals offset. We don't want them all lined up with the outer petals. Oh, come on, stick. There we go. Then we'll put another glob of glue in there, and I've got to find my little gemstone. Oh, there it is. Now this dowel that I used, I put a little Tombow on the end here, and I use that as a picker-upper tool. And then I'm going to just push that down in the center. Oop. And we'll put this aside then to dry. Once I get it there, get it stuck on there. Get that centered nice. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. Our flower's ready to go. Now I'm going to need my paper cutter and some room to use it. That's always a problem. Okay. I think I'm going to get the big shot off the table too here. Alright. So let's cut the bottom piece here first. It's a little tacky, but I think it's dry enough I can cut it. So we're going to cut this piece first, and that will be 1 1/4 by 4 3/8, I believe. I should probably measure it just to make sure. No, see? Yeah, it is 1 1/4 by 4 3/8. I was right. So you always measure twice, cut once. So we want this. I'm going to just trim the edge off here. So I've got plenty to work with. Alright, now I'll use that edge. So 1 1/4. Alright, now because this edge may not be straight and level, I'm going to line it up with the line on my scoreboard here. And just hold it in place instead of depending on the top part. Okay, I'm just going to trim a little off the end here. And now I need this 4 3/8. So there's 4, And 1, 2, 3 eighths. And we'll trim that off. And we've got all kinds of little scrap pieces. So that will go on the bottom, back with that piece here. So we'll put that off to the side, which you can't even see. Alright, now each of these needs to be 1 7/8 by 2 inches. Is that right? Let me check. Yes, we'll have just a little bit of a border. Good. So again, I'm just going to trim a little bit off the side, just off the edge here. And actually now we got a nice straight line here. We'll trim a little bit off here, off the bottom. So now this has to be 1 7/8. So there's 1, it's almost 2. It's 1/8 less than 2 inches. Okay, and there's the butterfly, almost finished. And now I want it side to side. I want it to be, uh-oh, did I just cut it wrong? By golly, I did. Okay, well, we're going to do these a little different. I want this to be 1 7/8. And there. Oh, didn't cut right. It was very, very close to the edge there. By golly, I cut that wrong. Okay. That's alright. We'll make it work. All will be fine. So I made that. See, I want them all the same. So I made that 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. So, alright, we've got the flower piece here. Looks like I'm going to have to clean my scoreboard too. I'm just trimming edges right this moment. Yeah, I think I should have hit these with the heat gun. Alright, now I want this 1 7/8. Even if you make a mistake, usually you can still salvage what you've done. Alright, so now I got my flower, got my butterfly, and then I just need my centerpiece. So let's see, where did that get to? There it is. So we want that to be how much room have I got there? Let's see, if I make a border all the way around that's even, and you know what? I'm not going to use this centerpiece. I'm not going to use it at all. I'm just going to put these two pieces on here. Yeah, that's what we'll do. That will fix my boo-boo. So we can start putting the card together. Let me put the scoreboard aside. because I'm done with scoring. It hasn't been kind to me. Alright, Tombow glue. Put Tombow on the back of this piece. And that's glued down nicely. And we'll put Tombow on the back of each of these. Oh, I'm off camera. Let me get in the camera. And I'm using the Tombow rather than snail because of the embossing. I don't want to squish down my don't want to squish my embossing down now that I've got it so pretty. Okay, so there's that one. And there's my flower. And just center that in there. You know what? And now that I've done this, I think I'm going to trim it along here. I'm just going to use scissors. I'm going to be bold. We'll make these two separate panels. Okay, there we go. And then we'll Tombow those down. Alright. And we want in from the edge. You know what? I'm going to do this bottom piece because I want these to line up with this bottom piece. Okay. We'll put this, and we want it just like 1/8 of an inch from the bottom of the card. And then we'll have about 1/2 inch on each side showing. You see? Okay, so now we'll line up. We can line these up with those, and we'll have them down about 1/8 of an inch from the top of the card. And about 1/2 inch from each side. Down in the materials, when I give you the sizes, I'll give you the sizes to do it like this. Okay, so now we're ready to stamp the card, and then we can put our flower on too. So, oh, I don't think I told you about this stamp. This is from a company called Artneko. It says Happy Birthday. And ink that up real well. And we want that just right here. And we don't want that to go past the edge over here. And hopefully I stamped that right side up. I did, but it's off a little bit. Well, this card has just been a series of mistakes. I'll put a little Tombow on the back of my flower. Maybe if I had taken another minute to line that up, it would have been better. And get that sticking down. There we go. And there we go. So, there's the original. And there's the one I just made. And other than the happy birthday being up a little bit too high, I actually think I like this one better. So, if you've liked my video, be sure to hit the like button down below. Let's see, down over the side. There's a subscribe button down there too. If you want to see more, then hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to shop with me for any of the Stampin' Up! Products that I've used, you can do that either through my Facebook page or my website. And I hope you like this this antiqued embossed foil technique, because this is just so pretty. You can't imagine, it's even prettier in person. I mean, it looks nice on the video, but it's even prettier in person. So, y'all take care, stay safe, and happy stamping.